The following text was posted by the Reset Era user known as Omnipotent, an anonymous video game industry insider who had a contact or contacts within From Software. This post is not speculation. This text was posted on February 17, 2020, and is the third significant information post by Omnipotent on Elden Ring. The text is titled, Omni clears up some misconceptions. Just want to pop in and make sure we're all on the same page here and clear up some misconceptions. The way I see it is Elden Ring is sort of a new start for the Souls games. Going back to Dark Souls 1 in particular and building off of that, well of course looking at what they've learned on subsequent games, and implementing elements of everything that came after where they see fit. Creating a new baseline for future Souls games of From Software RPGs and action RPGs. So, what that means in practice, as some of you have speculated, is more so focusing efforts into exploration and world design elements more than other elements. I wouldn't expect any singular aspect of the game to be revolutionary, or completely out of left field. Again, it's building off of prior games, and its uniqueness, at least in my opinion, comes from that. I already think that these games are top tier, especially in the ARPG scene. So to have them take what they've learned over the past decade, sort of go back to the drawing board and build something out of those pieces, has it result in something that is greater than the sum of its parts, at least in my opinion. But I would say the exploration in world, and how things come together are the most impressive aspects. Which is then coupled with systems and improvements, such as improved AI and dynamic day/night and weather, dynamic enemy placement, roaming enemies and large roaming creatures, etc. Things that sort of seem small on an individual level, and aren't really groundbreaking game systems, but become a lot more significant when you look at it in the context of From Software Dark Souls 1 level design in a bigger world, and again seeing things long before you're able to reach them, and things being on a much greater scale than they've ever done before. More open level layout. And a lot more freedom and choice in direction, and in some ways progression. As well as looking at other basic systems, looking at their best implementation of it, and then doing that on a larger, and a more consistent scale. The lore, and art of the world I think, will also play a significant role, in making it feel unique and fresh, and I think that is important as well. Effort is being put into improving both magic and melee combat and movement, and there are some cool things going on there. Some quality of life things are being brought over. But you're not going to get Sekiro tier mechanics in depth, or anything in this game is implementing stuff like that, when you've got stat allocation, massive gear variety, the most thus far, unless stuff gets culled, as well as build variety, PvP and whatnot, then you've got to make it fair to magic users and whatnot. Balancing that all becomes an unmitigated mess when you have so many variables to deal with. Meanwhile Sekiro only had one weapon, and tools and linear stat progression. So I would keep my expectations in check on that front too. Going back to the earlier thought process, I'd be thinking along the lines of Dark Souls as a baseline, and developing things outward from there. But I think that in terms of moment-to-moment gameplay, some of the quality of life carryovers from Sekiro, like a dedicated small jump as one example, no not hopping on heads, will help make gameplay at least feel more meaningfully distinct over just another Dark Souls sequel, and provide some more movement or tactical options where it makes sense. So I wouldn't put my hopes into any super complex systems, or anything making it into Elden Ring. It's more a matter of taking all of these puzzle pieces, making improvements, adding some new things where it makes sense, or add something of value without becoming a hassle or detriment to development, and putting something together that ultimately represents something that is again, greater than the sum of its parts. Also, while I have been teasing subterranean stuff, I think some people have gotten the idea that I am teasing or promising water having an important significance in Elden Ring. I am not, and I think people have gotten the wrong idea based on perhaps ineffective wording of a metaphor on my part in personal works of a From Software 3D artist. So, don't want to get anyone's hopes up for anything significant on that front.